Everyone, this is Quad, and we'll be bringing you another 1 vs 1 replay. This time it will be between 6 Jacks DDE and Softball, who I have been informed by the title of this replay from once I downloaded it, is Sen. I'm actually not quite sure where this game is from. I assume this is from some sort of tournament. I do not know which game in the series it is. The replay that I downloaded from was not so enlightening, other than the fact that this is Sen and the map is indeed Crevasse, which if you have not seen this map or even played on it, I just love it. It's a really great map, especially for the way that I myself play as Protoss. It's just like I just play super passive and go not exactly deathball, but something along the lines of that. That's just my style. Don't hate me if you hate that sort of Protoss style, but whatever. But I will just show you some of the features of this map, as I do not think I've actually casted any real decently long games on this map, which I will sort of give a decent spoiler. This game doesn't end in the first 5 minutes. Don't be worried about this. This is a longish macro game, and I actually do kind of like this. So if you have not seen this map before, there is this expansion here, which is easily defended by this shared choke point, as this is really the choke point going to your main base. So this map is one of sort of the macro maps of the tournament world, as in most of the tournaments you have out there, there's like a Terminus RE, there's Crevasse, there's Tal'Darim. Those are like the 3 really super big maps. And then there is Zilnagas in most of the maps. There's also Shakur's, which is decently sized macro map, but it often leads to some sort of 2-base play in some cases. And then there's also Zilnaga, of course, which is just like the super standard map. And we actually do have this drone not quite dying, not quite killing off this SCV either. It does get chased away. And so just based on the sheer, I guess, the standard of this map, this will most likely be early expanding from both players, as we do see the hatch coming down from Sen, who's opting to take the safe expansion, which is tucked behind this ramp. Meanwhile, you can actually, as Zerg, opt to take this expansion here instead, which is a little bit riskier, but you do get that double gas earlier and more mineral patches, and then if you are able to defend it early in the game, taking this expansion is even easier than it is taking it now. But taking this expansion does leave you vulnerable to stuff like Banshees, well, less so in these positions. If a DD had spawned up in the north positions, Banshees would be more likely or more harmful in this position, as you can simply just go across, which is another feature of this map, which I will get to shortly. And then the Hellions would also be able to do a huge amount of just running around damage, and even make a dash to the main. So again, this Terran and Zerg frequently take this base, well, sometimes against and Protoss, more Zergs, or often taking this frontal base. But yeah, it's just Hellions, they can easily be blocked off by a couple Zerglings or even Roaches and Queens at this ramp here. So now we'll go on to the next quick feature, as nothing really out of the ordinary orchestra is happening other than DDE taking this expansion and gas going up for Sen, but is that they're ridiculously close by air positions. If you will excuse me as I show the distance with my camera. DDE's base here. Oh, we're at Sen's natural. So, right now I'm saying DDE could be doing drop, could be doing Banshees, simply because it's like, oh, you walk over that distance, drop Marines right here, stim kill guys off, or Banshee flies, snipes drones, flies away. Nothing Zerg can do about it. And we will actually be having a factory coming up, so keep this in mind. This could be coming up for DDE, as he did go throw those double gas down right after that 1 rack, so that is highly indicative of tech, obviously. No, I actually don't. Oh, here's the couple of Marines by DD actually taking some nice shots at these Zerglings, taking absolutely no damage at all, and taking some map control, and probably not going to pick off this Zergling, as it will be able to run away. These Marines, I don't know, that's nice for DD. He knows it's most likely that there's going to be absolutely no real or just remove any map control from his opponent. And we actually will have a starport coming up, and I'll hold that for a second because I want to point out this one thing. Sen, oh, here it is. Sen is getting a ridiculously fast layer. It's 5 minutes 45 seconds. The layer is more than halfway complete. He's gonna get some pretty damn fast melisks, I must say. Really, that's just what I'm guessing right now. It's just because of the map, so he can swing around this way and attack this expansion. And most Terran don't really if they don't scout the if this layer does not get scouted, or the Spire does not get scouted itself, DDE might not put down turrets by about the until like the 11 or 12 minute mark, which a lot of Terran do just sort of instinctively. They're like, 11-minute mark, Mutalisk should be coming soonish, turrets go down, turrets go down. We actually will be having the Spire go down. 6 minutes 30 seconds Spire. I do not think I've ever seen anything that fast, but we will actually be having Banshees now coming for DD with Cloak on the way. There, he had the gas saved up, and he's now finished this wall off with 3 barracks, and this is going to be interesting. This Banshee will probably not do too too much damage, as the lair is already up and Overseer will be quickly morphed, and Mulus will also be able to chase it away relatively easily, but in that sense, it's going to be sort of decent for DD and sort of decent for Sen. I think this will probably kind of even out for both sides. No side will really get a big advantage from this build order, just as long as DD does do some damage with the Banshees. Also, if he does actually put down an engineering bay at any decent time, because if he gets caught down with the Mutalisks on the map without an engineering bay even down by soon, DD is going to be in a lot of trouble, and we actually will be having about 7 Mutalisks popping out for Sen, who has 700 gas. We'll be saving up on the minerals now, as nothing is being produced. He does have the larva, but he just is gonna save it for Mulus. We do have the Banshee coming in, take a couple shots, kill off one drone. It will most likely cloak as soon as the cloaking field is done. This queen will begin to be focused down. It will die. It gets one last larva inject, and this queen does come on. Banshee will be cloaking momentarily. He's at almost no health, backs up again, and now the cloak has finished, so this Banshee is actually going to be swinging around to the other side, and oh, what did it just kill there? I have no idea what that Banshee just killed. We actually will have 8 Mulus popping out for Sen. So this Banshee doing some scouting action, going around. It does cloak it. Here we go, there is a cloak, and the Mulus actually go straight to the Banshee and miss it completely, as there's no means for detection. I'm not sure if Sen actually saw the Banshee cloak. I guess he now assumes that it did, as he does put down this Overseer. 2 Overseers going down, because we do have the second Banshee over here, which will cloak momentarily, and will begin focus firing drones. And this Banshee also doing the same thing. It doesn't actually kill any drones. It does start to work on this gas, and Mulus do come over here, pick off that one Banshee, and they will be flying back towards this Banshee, which is also working onto the drone, getting up to 6 kills, going to get up to 7 kills, which is incredibly low for a Banshee, and then be chased away as, where is an Overseer? This Banshee actually going to get away. The Banshee's just going to chill, they're going to go back in, and oh, actually it's almost out of energy, so it looks like Sen will be able to catch this in time, and it goes back, and it is spotted as the energy does run out, and DD actually is now putting down 6 missile turrets, and these Muses will hunt down this Banshee, so I would say all in all this is kind of a fairish trade. DD didn't do as much damage as he definitely could have, but now these Muses will actually not do as much to DD, as he has thrown down a heap load of missile turrets. I think 6 were being made. We got 3 at that base, 2 here, and another one here just to protect off all these tech buildings. And DD will be taking his 3rd command center as well, as Sen's 3rd base has finished. We can go ahead, look in the unit tab, and see Sen's in a decent position. He's slightly ahead on drones, not nearly as far ahead as he normally would have liked, as most of Sen's games, along with a lot of the other like big macro zergs like Red and Idra, they'll just go straight up to 70 drones at 10 minutes, and then they'll make units. Meanwhile, Sen will probably just he kind of went for, okay, I'll make some units, and then I'm going to go up to 70 drones, which I fully expect him to do, especially as his 3rd base has been put down uncontested, and I don't actually know how much he's seen of what DD has. He has actually seen almost nothing. He doesn't even know that that base exists, but he will. He probably does assume that it does exist, and no real signs of aggression coming out. Which I guess the Banshee, when you get Banshee with cloak and you use 2 of them, there's not really too much room for big tank pressure coming out, or at least not this early. So Sen is reasonably safe in making all these drones, and he's getting up another, this is macro hatch, that wasn't another base, and he's getting Baneling's Nest, getting +1 flyer attacks, and will most likely be starting a Baneling speed soon, and putting out more Mulus as his gas count is getting pretty ridiculous, up to 1200 there for a second. These Mulus will go in and take a couple shots, one actually killing off, and a characteristic loss of control there for Sen, and Sen taking a little bit more damage, trying to sneak off, or pick off the engineering, but will back off. And now we do see actually DDE is actually going very, very bold here, and he's going to take a 3rd orbital command here instead of that planetary fortress, which the space return can actually be kind of hard to defend, simply put, because it's such a massive surface area, and there are 2 entrances that Zerg can abuse. They can go down here, they can also break down these rocks and go into the Zerglings, and sometimes just pass by all the tanks if they're positioned up here, or even defending of the 4th base here, and then Muse can even just harass to the back and pull the Marines back, and then just go in with maybe Roaches or the Zerglings and just take off all the tanks, which, I don't know, if there's a huge tank count, there's no way that's going to work, but it is still a possibility, especially before the tank count, or while the tank count is this low. It's only 3 tanks right now. There are 2 Thors to deal with the Mulus numbers, which just got a huge increase, as if you were paying attention, 14 Mulus did come out in that tab, and we will have the 4th base of Sen being taken now. And DDE is actually just still pacing around with his Marines. Mulus flying around, not doing all too much. And right now this is just going to be, so both players are just saying, okay, no rush. We already did our little things, we did a bit of aggression. Now we're just going to chill, do some harassment. We actually will have the Mulus coming in, taking out all 3 of these. Oh, holy turrets, Batman. These are 5 turrets commanding this base, but Sen will say, eh, this ain't nothing. Actually, Thor gets off 1 big volley, actually not really killing that many units. Gets another volley, that actually hurts a lot of these Mulus. You can see a good amount of them are actually in the low health, and Sen probably lost a decent amount of those Mulus, so that's not good. And we should have some medevac Thor action to help defend from these Mulus, which is in the 16 count, which is definitely the base killing count. We can start taking on turrets, and Sen gonna be engaging these 3 missile turrets, losing 1 killed Mulus. These Marines do stim in. Where is the Thor? Here comes the Thor. The Thor is positioned to take off a great volley. Does get, oh, that is a big volley, taking out 1 or 2 Mulus. And Sen is actually gonna just get away with just 8 Mulus, almost losing another one there, and that was definitely not worth it. That was great boon to DDE, who can now rest a little bit easier now, knowing that the Mulus threat is not nearly as dire as it was, and can, yeah, I don't know, that's just great. You kill off half your opponent's Mulus for just the cost of a couple turrets and almost no SCVs. I'd take that any day. I'm sure every other Terran would too, and each Zerg would just cringe as they saw this. And we do now have Sen, who has not really advanced his creep too much, just as this is a difficult map to advance creep, as there are so many ledges all over the place that you need sight for and to knock down rocks and whatnot. And it is starting to advance into the middle of the map, and Mulus are swinging in to the sort of vision range of the sensor tower. The scan does go down to just check on how many. We do get 1 Thor volley going off, and not too much of the tower is cleared off, and DDE is actually pushing through these rocks. Well, the rocks have been cleared now. And it does not appear that he will be taking this 4th base just yet. We do have 6 barracks going down. So, DDE realizing that his macro did indeed slip, Sen actually taking that center tower, which is kind of nice. But I'm not sure if that's worth the cost of all those Mulus that he just lost there. That was a good 3 or 4. And DDE, knowing that he is pretty far behind in his macro, just throwing down 6 barracks. Why not? More Marines, more the merrier. All you need to win with, the only unit you need to win with as Terran is Marines, of course, as everyone does know. And DDE actually having a very low tank count, only 5 tanks right now, and that's not something that I really like too much. And Sen now making 30 Zerglings, coming out a large amount of Banelings, 60. And DDE will be sieging up here on the high ground. This is a fantastic position. It's going to be very difficult for Sen to break, although he does have about 30-40 food ahead of Sen, and dropping there just as a couple Zerglings and Banelings do suicide themselves onto this Thor. And I don't know, this is kind of weird. The Thor is just, no, actually I really like this. These Thors are just going to eat up a ton of things, and we actually do see that Sen is going to bypass all those Thors and just go around for here. And which way is he going to go? He's just going to go straight back through here. DDE does see this, all the turrets are here. And DDE, ooh, Sen, what are you going to do? He's splitting up his Zerglings. Looks like he's just going to go for the 3rd base. He's going to intercept all these reinforcements. A couple Banelings and whatnot do go in. They kill absolutely no Marines, and Sen is just going all the way for this, bypassing the entire tank line, which I definitely do love. Engaging those big tank lines is never a good thing to do as a Zerg, especially when they are head-on in a superior position. And Sen's just going to take out a huge amount of these SCVs. All these Marines are by themselves. Tanks are out of position, and if these Banelings do hit, this could be disastrous for DDE. Couple Overlords coming in for no real reason, and DDE runs all the way back to this siege line, and actually does defend this fairly well. So that, I would say, ooh, big Baneling hit right there. That definitely saved Sen there. I would say now, just based on the 1 or 2 Banelings that killed off half of those Marines, this would be slightly in favor of what's it called, of Sen, as he did manage to save his base. He managed to save this macro hatch, and he still has a decent Mulus account, which will be able to clean up some of these tanks. And actually, big Thor hit takes out a couple Mulus, and Marines do stim in. This one tank just barely gets picked off, and actually all these Mulus have been dead. Sen's been uncharacteristically really careless with all these Mulus, and we do actually now have a Greater Spire coming down, as well as Corruptor, so we will have Broodlords coming momentarily, and I do not know if DDE will be prepared to deal with this, as he does not have Reactor on his starport, actually, unless there's another starport somewhere else. No, there is not. DDE is actually going to be in, and actually a big Zergling run by bypassing the tanks once again, and DDE's just, or Sen's going to take out this Thor, going to take out this tank, and these Banelings can actually do huge amount of damage to these SCVs if they do get pulled off, and actually will be going for these Marines. So 1 Baneling hit, picked out a decent amount of them. Another one could also be crucial, but these Banelings are not controlled and will actually just circle around Thor and then be pulled back. And Sen actually now going to be going all into the main base. This turret will burn down. A lot of these SCVs have been killed, so we can take a look in the Harvester count that it is actually still fairly even. The Sen does not have a particular advantage simply because DDE does have those 3 mules, so that will even it up, and we do have 40 Zerglings coming out, and actually DDE is making a large amount of Thors, and all of these tanks here will be cleaned up by these Zerglings as well as these missile towers, so I'd still say that this game is relatively even, but these Broodlords could be a game changer, as the production capacity for Vikings of DD is just ridiculously low, and we can also see at the income, DD actually has very, very low income. He has almost no mining going. Oh, that's where all the SCVs were. His main has mined out, his natural is almost mining out as well, and DD needs a 4th base, and he has no command centers on the wing. We actually do have an infestor switch coming on for Sen, so this could actually still be incredibly disastrous for DDE. So this will actually make this base very, very hard to hold, as Sen can actually just sit here with the Broodlords and shell it away from back here, but deny any sort of mining, and infestors from here can also fling fungal growths across the chasm to catch any Vikings or even chuck over infested Terrans if he so wishes. We do only have 1 Broodlord on the way. We have 2 on the... Well, once this one hatches, we will have 2 on the field and 4 infestors as well. Without the pathogen glands, but it is coming now, as well as the adrenal glands upgrades. Those Zerg upgrades, they really like their glands. I don't know. Well, that just kind of makes sense. And DD will be pushing on with this strictly marine Thor army composition, which is definitely kind of weird. We do now have tanks coming out 2 at a time, though. DD will be attempting to replenish that count, but the tank count isn't really what's going to be in trouble or really crucial for him. I do not know if he's actually even seen these the possibility for Broodlords coming. No, he is not, or is not to my knowledge. We do have a small drop also coming down from him. I do not know how much damage this will do, or even what it is going to. And we also have Ultralist Kevin coming down. We do have another double drop here come from DD, trying to find any sort of hidden expansions. And actually, nice drop up here, and we'll take a couple Banelings. There is no sight, so Sen cannot hurl fungal growth, and we do have a fairly large stem, and this base will most likely be denied, as the upgrades for DD are fantastic. He's at 2-2, not quite 3-3. It is actually not started yet. This hatchery is denied. There is no cancel here. We do have a couple Baneling hits going on. 1 fungal growth, which is wasted on relatively few Marines, and 1 Marine, nope. Marine does not get picked up or survive. There are 2 medevacs which will remain, and the space will be retaken by Sen, and I have no idea what happened. Actually, no, all the Marines probably got killed off, and this medevac does make it out as well. And we will have Vikings beginning to produce, so I'm not sure if DD has actually scanned them or not, and we actually have another drop over here. And we will have a big fungal growth, and these Banelings aren't killed off, but now that fungal growth, we'll see that most of these Marines at least will be killed off. Only 2 Marines left, and they will most likely skedaddle. Actually, they will pick off that 1 infestor. Very nice, and DD messes up on his micro and does lose both of those Marines, which is quite sad. We also do have the Chitness Plating coming down for Ultra, so a big Ultra switch if DD makes a large amount of Vikings could also be deadly. These medevacs are continuing to chill, and DD will be moving up to most likely secure the 4th base. I actually don't know. He has a large amount of Thors. 5 Thors, I think this is? No, this is 6 Thors. I don't quite know why there's 6 Thors. You generally don't need them. We actually do have a command center here going down over here. It has been lifted from the main. DD is saying, hell, who needs gas? I need middles, which is definitely an astute observation. And DD will be going out, and he will clear out all these creatures here. Sen actually expanding pretty much everywhere on his side of the map. Drones being mained over, and his base will be taken for DD, who will most likely siege up and try to hold it, and we will see whether or not Sen actually decides to contest it or not. He actually... Where are his Broodlords? I do not know. Oh, he has 4 Broodlords, a decent amount. We have a Changeling chilling out as well. Scan goes down, so now if DD was not aware of Broodlord, he is definitely now aware of it as well. Scan also lets him pick off, and actually Viking's going to take some pot shots at these Broodlords, and we do have infestors coming in. They do not fungal growth or throw any infested Terrans at all. The Vikings drew back off, as do the Broodlords, and DD will be moving his tanks forward to take an even better position, and we do also have Neuroparasite on the way. This 1 tank does get picked off. A couple of Zerglings are going to go down, and all these tanks are actually going to be picked off. A large amount of infested Terrans being thrown down as well. And not quite all the tanks do go down. 2 tanks are still alive. Actually, 1 tank now, as those other do that. And 1 Viking is alive, but will not be focused down by these infested Terrans. And we'll get another fungal growth, which will most likely kill this Viking. And yes, it does die on the last tick of the fungal growth. So there are actually only 2 Broodlords left, but and actually DD has also scattered this Ultras Captain. We will have one Ultras coming on the way. Only more most likely will be coming as well with a huge excess of gas. And there we go, 7 Ultras coming in. So I do not think... Yeah, DDE does not have the army to deal with these Ultras. He does not have any Marauders at all. He has 6 Thors, which do not do well against Ultralisk. And the tank count is 1. There is 1 tank count. You need like 6, 7, maybe even upwards of 10 tanks to deal with Ultras effectively, or ridiculously good marine control. And there are infestors, and actually a lot of these infestors will die. And ooh, huge amount of marines getting killed. That was an awesome fungal growth. And the marine count is what you really need to deal with Ultras and the control to go with it. But DDE is actually going to wisely back off now, as he knows he does not have the marine count to do any sort of attacking, especially with Ultras on the way. These 2 remaining Broodlords will mostly be taken out, as there are no infestors left. I think all of them did get picked off. No, they do have 4 alive, but they have very, very little energy, and this final Broodlord will mostly get picked off, and actually DDE is just going to let it live. Interesting. Blown Zergling also getting killed off over here, and there we go, this Broodlord will not be allowed to live any longer, and we do have another base going down for DDE, who will attempt to be taking space. DDE is actually kind of in dire straits. He's not maxed, he has a very, very low tank count of just 2. 2 more coming out on the way, and really, these Ultras, they're gonna do... Oh my god, that's a lot of Zergling. This is a lot of shit. These tank shots are gonna have to be worth their weight in gold. There's not the marine count for DDE to deal with. These 6 Thors will not help against this massive Zerglings and Ultralisk, which is lagging my computer to hell. You can definitely tell if you're watching this on on YouTube. And we do have the Ultras coming in. The Marines are getting fungal goes. They will not be able to skip the grubs. The Zerglings are actually going in over here. These tanks are shelling away from the back. But there's simply not enough. And Sen with the awesome surround. The Thor's doing next to nothing. And that has got to be game. DDE losing his entire army except for these Vikings, which are just watching those Vikings not useful at all in the least, and Sen taking the win in a fairly convincing final battle, but losing almost none of his Ultralisks. He still has 6 alive, only 1 Ultralisk going down, and actually a nice ending. This Ultralisk about to nom up about 5 SCVs here, or just even more possibly. I am an Ultralisk. I see SCVs. Nom nom nom. But other than silliness, I hope you did enjoy this game. I actually like this game a lot. It's well, kind of fun little nuances to see here. I love I just think as Zerg, if you go for Broodlord and you can do a fast Ultralisk switch, it can actually do huge wonders in a battle, especially if the Terran does not have the large enough tank count that they have, or if your Broodlord just reduce the tank count enough to make the Ultralisk so viable, because you can see 2 tanks, not enough to do anything against 7 Ultralisks and like 80 Zerglings. So yeah, if you're a Zerg, go for it. It's definitely awesome. Ultralisks do not suck, especially in large open areas where they are not going to be able to be constricted in their movement. So, hope you did enjoy this game, and I will see you all next time.